I don't really post here often, but this is definitely a conversation that I am recording, and I hope to look back and for it to just be something I can laugh at in a couple months, hopefully. So I lost my job about a month ago, and is it a month from now? Okay, it's been a little over a month, like a month and a couple days. Not too proud of that. And what am I doing? What am I doing to get a new job, you may ask? Well, I'm doing what everyone else is doing that doesn't have a job, applying for a new one. And it's just not working out. I've applied on LinkedIn, on Indeed, on remote.co. We work remotely on Flex Jobs, even Craigslist. And I don't really trust Craigslist. Like, I had a very terrible experience when I was like 18 looking for a job. I applied for this job one time and they asked me for my address, and I didn't know why, so I gave it to them, and they sent me a check and they asked me that I was like an assistant. I was gonna be like a personal assistant to someone for like a humanitarian charity, I don't know, something. And they asked me to deposit a check, go to the bank, and with those funds purchase things that are needed for this charity event. And I was like, oh my god, this is such a cool opportunity. I went to the bank and they said this check was fraud, and little 18-year-old Catherine shitted herself, and I decided to never show up to that bank again. I closed my account and I opened a new banking account elsewhere with a whole different bank. Traumatizing that event in my life took place with Craigslist. So the fact that I'm even giving it a second chance right now is beyond me. Beyond. But you gotta do what you gotta do. So I have been up and down. Like anybody that loses their job, I feel like this is definitely a very hard time to digest as a person. Even though I feel like a lot of people, when they're happy that they lost their job because they can do things, deep down they're like, shit, I need a job, I need something, I need to make money, I need to make ends meet this kind of way. And so for me, it's definitely been an up and down. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of information about myself just so you guys know the background that I have. So I was in finance and banking, something that I had never done before. I was there for a little over a year, and it was a good learning curve opportunity, but the only issue is because the company that I work for, like corporation hubs, are not in the state, they're in other states. In order for me to grow and be part of like the ins and outs of finance for the company, back office, was not an opportunity with that company in the state, at least. So I knew that very early on into that job, which, mind you, moved to the state, South Carolina, and it took me 3 months just to even get a job. Just to even get a job, it took me 3 months, okay? And very early on, when I started meeting with people in the company and talking to them and stuff, they're like, yeah, you're gonna either have to move or you're gonna have to work for a smaller company. And I was like, okay, good to know. But I just took and ran with it. I didn't really think we were gonna stay here more than a year, honestly. I thought we were only gonna be here a year and then move to another location, because my boyfriend is a chef, so he has opened already 2 restaurants, and so I didn't think we were gonna be here that long, since the last one was a little over a year. And he knew I wasn't happy living here, so I thought we were both on the same page, like, oh, we're only gonna be here for a good time and not a long time, but that's not the case. So I took the job because I needed it, and I learned and I adjusted, and I got transferred to, we worked 2 different locations with this company, and it was good when I was in that first location. Then when I moved to that second location, things got a little weird. I don't know. Corporate America is very strange when it comes to like older women and younger women. Like the dynamic, it just doesn't work out with boomers and Gen Z and millennials. Like it's weird dynamic, and I've known that. Like that's why I never worked in corporate prior to this. I know what it is. I didn't have a good experience the first time I did corporate, and I definitely did not have a good experience this last time I did corporate. So I obviously need to figure out what exactly I want to do. So it wasn't the just work environment itself with me and the other people in there. It was just like I got along with them, but I always felt what's the word? Because in their eyes, I am new to their location. They think that I was new to the job when I wasn't. I knew exactly what I was doing. So it just honestly felt like they were like making me feel less than, making me feel like, oh, you don't know what you're doing, and trying to like boss me around even though I know what I'm doing. It was just like constant clash, and I was like, you know what? If I'm needed, I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna hang around anywhere. I'm just going to be in my desk. And if I'm going to lunch, I'm going to eat at the lunchroom. And then it became that it was just so bad, I went to eat at my car. Like I would eat at my car because I just didn't feel welcomed in that building. And so I just felt very disconnected from the entire team member. And you know, for a lot of people, work is very different what they, you know, look for. You know, some people look for great pay, some people look for a great environment to be with others, and for me that's very important. And so one, I didn't feel welcomed, one, I felt like they were just looking at me like less than, and it was tough for me to go to work. So I did it. I knew I didn't want to be there, and I had been looking for jobs ever since I was in the last location, actually, which was around October. I had been trying to look for a new job, and yeah, it's hard. It is hard. Like I'm just going off right now with how many jobs I've applied in LinkedIn, and I've applied for at least 180 jobs in LinkedIn. That's a lot, and mind you, I'm using other websites as well. So I'm definitely at the 200 mark for sure. And to say that I've applied to that many jobs, still no callback, no response to a majority of them. Rejection is definitely a big one. Like on my emails, like, unfortunately we decided to go with other candidates, so we will not be moving forward with you. And it's just like, oh my god. Like I've always been someone that has always had a job lined up. Like I would never not have a job. But I just think it's the market. I just think it's with the location that I'm in that is just very, very hard. Now, my background, like I said, I was in finance now. Prior to that, I was working in the hospitality industry for about 6 years and loved it. It's just the pandemic was a very rough patch, but I definitely loved working in the hospitality industry. The money's good. People are not there to like stir problems. At least the places I've been at, it's just been very, very easy. Everybody's there, clock in, do your thing, make money, and go. What did I do before that? That was a big chunk of my life. 6 years, oh my gosh. And honestly, before that, everything is kind of a blur because they were kind of jobs that I was just getting to have a job. Like I said, like I never really did not have a job. I think I worked in logistics for like 4 and 5 months, and then I worked, oh no, I'm lying, I worked in 2 logistic offices, so about, I would say, give or take a year combining those 2. They were through temp agencies. And then I also worked in salons while I was in high school. And a couple years after that, I would say for maybe 2 years, a lot of the salons did close. Some salons closed or changed management, things like that happened. And I think after the last salon closed, I was like, I need something a bit more stable. So I worked in a diagnostic center for a while, and it was a very cool job in the sense of like it worked out for me because I was in college. It was like I would come in from 11 a.m. till 7 p.m. I think, and so I was able to go to school in the morning and be home at a decent hour, and I didn't really deal with a lot of people. I was like kind of in like my own cubicle section, whatever. And then after that, I joined hospitality industry, which I did enjoy. That's definitely an industry that I stayed in for a very long time, and with the same company, by the way. Just different restaurants with the same company. And then to go into finance, like now I feel like, I don't know if this is like, I don't want to be like negative towards myself, but losing my job has really had me thinking that I really haven't done anything that I would say I'm proud of. You know, I mean, moving out of my hometown, definitely that's a big one. Moving to different cities, living that experience is great, traveling, but like financially, like a job, like something that I can be proud that I created, that I make money out of. I really haven't done that. And it sucks because I am 29, I'm about to be 30, and so to say that at this age, for me, it's just not what I expected. At least when I was 21, I vividly remember that I told myself I was going to be in a very good place in my career, whatever that was going to be. I was going to be married and have kids. And I have none of that. I am in a great relationship, I will say that, but we're not in a place really to have kids, and it's hard. And I thought about it, like I guess because I look up these conversations on my YouTube, like the algorithm, when it comes to seeing what I like, what interests me or whatever, a lot of the videos that I've had on my feed are those who have either been laid off or are trying to start their, social media endeavors, like being a influencer or just making money online. What else? People that are starting life again, people that have quit their jobs and are kind of wanting to find a new purpose in their life. There's many people that are my age or 35 or 40 or 50, and it helps me, think like maybe it's not too late for you. Maybe this is just the beginning, right? You got let go and now you're just going to take some time to actually realize exactly what you really want to do with your life. And so that is kind of where I am now with this whole situation, from being ecstatic that I finally left a toxic job to feeling down that I didn't have a purpose, I didn't have a job, I didn't know what I was going to do financially, to understanding that I'm not alone in this situation. There are many other people that are dealing with the situation and it's not too late, and that also there is people that are also in the situation and are looking at it in a positive way, where they're taking this chance to start anew. And so for me, that's kind of what I'm going to be doing, apart from looking for a job, because yes, I do want a job. I feel like if this is my hobby, creating content and having that creativity outlet, it's good, but this is just a hobby and I don't want to make it like my full-time career where I have to do things in order to have money coming in, because then I feel like that takes the fun out of being creative. And then that's when you see a lot of influencers become pushy and shoving things down your throat that you need to buy this and this and this, and I don't want to be that. Definitely don't want to be that. So what I'm trying to say is that even though I lost my job and all, I'm definitely wanting to take this moment to focus on social media again. If you guys see on my channel, I've been on and off on this channel since the pandemic, since 2020. I told myself that I wanted to be an influencer, and I stopped because I feared what people would say or think about me. And it sucks because I know if my friends knew, they would support me. Like, they would. They don't even know that I do TikToks every now and then. They don't even know that I've worked with brands. Like, the only person that knows is my partner, because he sees packages come in, and so he supports me, and it's great to have someone in your life that does. I'm definitely going to start creating content again and reaching out to brands like I used to not too long ago, and hope to make some money through there, as well work on growing my channel and having my audience and my friends and peeps in my little corner, and you know, do good. And so I feel like I've been rambling about so many different things, but yeah, main reason why I did this video is because I want to look back and be like, you know what, she did it, and she stuck to it, she stuck with it, because I feel like I've started, like I mentioned, YouTube 2020, and I've just been on and off. Posted a couple videos 2021, 2022, like maybe one, and then one 2023. So like I haven't really been consistent as I should be on this channel, and so I'm gonna take advantage now that I'm not employed and create content and see where that gets me, as well as if there's any advice any of you can give me about finding a new job that I haven't done already, please let me know. I need all the help that I need, because like I said, I do want to have a job. I feel like it's great to have something, just so you don't feel like you have to 100% create content all the time. And so hopefully I'm able to find one and everything would be just fine. Oh, also another thing that I'm doing while I'm not working, since I do have all this time, is I'm going to take the time to, you know, level up my skills and learn data analyst or project management to be part of the tech world and see where that takes me. The requirements for a lot of these positions don't require a lot, really. They just want you to have like entry-level skills when it comes to these career paths, and so I'm going to take advantage of that, and see if that can work. Especially like I feel like if I get a job here, like in a brick and mortar spot, like I'm not gonna be here that long, so I don't want to waste not only my time but their time, like, you know, hiring me and training me and doing all this stuff when I'm gonna be like, at the end of the year, I'm leaving. And yes, I am leaving at the end of the year. Not happy where I live. I don't feel at home. I feel like that's also been a reason for my little up and down emotions. It's just not necessarily being happy here. I kind of want to go back to California. That's always been a thought, or even go back home to Miami for a couple months. Might be something, but I don't know. That I do not know. I definitely want to be somewhere where I can feel at home. I feel like here I don't really go anywhere. And it's not just because I don't have friends, because even in San Francisco when I didn't have friends, I used to go out and do a lot of things on my own, because I just loved exploring California. It was just so nice. But here it's just, I don't know, anytime I go anywhere, I don't feel welcomed, unless I'm with my boyfriend, which is strange. It's not really strange, but yeah, I don't really feel welcomed. I feel like I don't belong, and so that's why it's very hard for me to even go anywhere. I don't want to be cooped in my apartment for the rest of my life, so definitely I need to move. But we'll see. I don't know where that's gonna be. But hopefully by then I would have a job that I can do remote, and YouTube's doing well, and my partnerships with brands are doing well, and I can be an inspiration for some. That would definitely be the goal, especially inspiration for myself. Well, I want to leave with saying, if you lost your job, you'll be fine. If you're dealing with the emotions of depression and anger, unfulfilledness, stress, it's normal. It is. I mean, we all experienced it, but this too shall pass is something I definitely like to tell myself. This is only going to be a short period of time in your life, and just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Try to do things differently. Try to pick up a skill that can help you in the long run when it comes to a new job. Try to learn how to do something like paint, cook. I've been gardening. That's been very much fun for me to do during this time, is learn how to garden. Read books, gym, just anything that can really get your mind off of things. One thing I really like to do is, especially I've been doing as of lately, I've been going on a walk every morning, and I listen to Mel Robbins' podcast. If you haven't listened to her podcast, I highly recommend it. She talks a lot about reinventing yourself. She sits down with a lot of scientists on how to better yourself. For example, the podcast I listened to this morning was about the benefits of walking correctly, breathing correctly, and sleeping correctly does to the body in the long term. And so, yeah, she speaks a lot on ways to improve your life. I remember when I got laid off, there was a podcast that came out on how to reinvent yourself. If you're ever feeling stuck, she has a podcast on that. So I would definitely recommend to listen to her. Definitely puts you in a positive place. And, she also has a very great podcast. I can't remember the name, but I highly recommend it if you're like in your 20s, even your 30s. Like, it's definitely one that I'm very big on sending to people, because it's just, the message in itself is just so good. It's called 13 Things I Wish I Knew in My 20s. You can find it on YouTube, and it's really nice to hear that, because like I had mentioned earlier, at 21, I remember vividly planning out my life and expecting my life to be a certain way at this age, and it's not. And she speaks on how to not stress over things like that. Enjoy your life day by day, because you're gonna have so much opportunities to come your way. So don't stress too much on the little things. And that's what I'm taking in today with my situation. Trying to see the positive out of this, trying to see a good outcome of, hey, you're no longer in that toxic work environment that you didn't like. Now you can start anew. Now you can do something. Now you can work on something that you truly love, which for me is creating content and working with brands, and possibly even working in the tech industry, which I definitely hope I can do. I'm just gonna study, and I don't know, maybe I'll take you guys along with me, like a little vlog on how I study to become a data analyst. But there's just like so many things that you can take with this, and I hope that we can find a job soon. It's been a month for me, and it's definitely been rough, and I know there's people that haven't had a job in months, and 3, 5, even a year. And and hopefully everything just works out. It's definitely the market, it's not you. It's a lot of people are getting laid off, a lot of people are unemployed, and a lot of people are looking for the same position. And there's only one position that needs to be filled, and hundreds of people are applying for that same position. So there's a lot of competition out there for sure. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.